Faroe Islands, a story of belonging. Wow. Imagine standing at a place so remote, so profoundly still, that the noise you didn't even know you were carrying, the noise of emails, of traffic, of a life moving too fast, simply dissolves. Somewhere between Norway and Iceland, between the old world and the forgotten one, there is an archipelago that has no interest in being discovered. 18 islands, 50,000 souls, and a silence so complete it changes you. This is the Faroe Islands. And this is not a story about a destination. This is a story about what it means to belong somewhere truly, deeply, completely. Stay with us because what you are about to see will make you question everything you thought you needed. The Faroe Islands were not placed gently on the map. They were forced upward from the ocean floor by volcanic fury millions of years ago, then slowly, patiently sculpted by ice, wind, and relentless Atlantic tide. From Viøy in the north to Suðuroy in the south, the total land mass is barely larger than a mid-sized American county. You could drive its length in under 2 hours. But to rush through the Faroe Islands would be to miss them entirely. Because here, geography is not landscape. Geography is character. The cliffs teach the people stubbornness. The fog teaches patience. The wind, constant, glorious, infuriating, teaches humility. Every gust that has torn across these islands for 10,000 years has left something behind in the people who chose to stay. A resilience that is quiet, a strength that doesn't need to announce itself. Here, weather is not something that happens to you. It is something you negotiate with every single day. Capital without the roar. Most capital cities greet you with a roar. Tórshavn greets you with a cup of coffee and the sound of water against the dock. Home to nearly 40% of the Faroese population, Tórshavn is by every official measure a capital city. It has a parliament, a history stretching back to the 9th century, and all the political weight you'd expect from a seat of governance. What it does not have is the frenzy. The old quarter, Tinganes, is where the Norse established their first assembly, a thing, on a small rocky peninsula jutting into the harbor. The name itself means Parliament Wharf. The buildings you see here today date to the 16th and 17th centuries. Red-painted timber, grass growing from the rooftops. Not as decoration but as insulation, as tradition, as connection to the land itself. Perhaps that is the most remarkable thing about Tórshavn. In a world obsessed with growth, expansion, and the aggressive accumulation of more, this city has looked at itself and said, "This is enough. This is exactly enough." Roundabout beneath the ocean. Somewhere beneath the Atlantic, 72 meters below the surface of a fjord, there is a roundabout, a traffic circle underwater, decorated with sculpture and bathed in shifting blue light. Drive through it, and you can tune your radio to hear a soundscape composed specifically for the tunnel, built from the recorded sounds of its own construction and the silence that followed. This is the Eysturoy Tunnel, and it is, by any reasonable measure, one of the most extraordinary pieces of infrastructure ever built by a nation of 50,000 people. 3 separate tunnel branches meet at this underwater roundabout, connecting the capital with 2 different parts of Eysturoy. A journey that once took over an hour now takes 16 minutes. But the Eysturoy Tunnel is not alone. The Faroe Islands now have 4 subsea tunnels in total, connecting islands once separated entirely by open ocean. Together they stretch more than 33 kilometers beneath the seafloor, and more than 90% of the population is now linked by road, carved through solid basalt using the drill and blast method, kilometer by kilometer, beneath the weight of an ocean. For a nation this size, the investment is almost incomprehensible. The cost per inhabitant far exceeds similar projects anywhere else in Europe. And yet they built them anyway because this is what the Faroese do. They do not wait for the world to make things easier. They carve their own path, sometimes literally, through solid rock 500 feet beneath the sea. Though they are 18 islands, the tunnels mean they defy the very fact of being islands at all. Perhaps that is the truest thing you will hear about these people. They have always refused to be defined by what separates them. The islands of sheep. No creature has shaped the Faroe Islands more profoundly than the sheep. The very name Faroer is most commonly translated as sheep islands. From the earliest Norse settlements, sheep provided everything: wool for clothing, meat for the table, and a reason to stay when the storms made the sea impassable. Today the Faroe Islands are home to more sheep than people, nearly twice as many. The Faroese sheep is a specific breed, small, compact, extraordinarily hardy. They roam freely across the islands for most of the year, no fence, no enclosure, just open land and an ancient, unspoken understanding between farmer and flock. The wool that once made these islands wealthy has largely been replaced by synthetic fabrics in global trade. But the tradition of the hentesalv, the hand-knitted wool sweater, geometric and proud, endures. You see it everywhere. On fishermen, on grandmothers, on teenagers who, despite everything the modern world offers them, still choose to wear what their great-grandparents wore. Because some things are not fashion. Some things are identity. Hashtag a language that refused to die. Listen, what you are hearing is not a performance for tourists. This is the Faroese chain dance, one of the oldest continuously practiced folk traditions in the Western world, sung in a language that is itself a living museum. Faroese is a North Germanic language descended directly from Old Norse. It was suppressed for centuries under Danish rule, nearly erased, reduced to a tongue spoken only behind closed doors and in the verses of ballads passed down like heirlooms. And yet it survived. Today it is the first language of these islands. It is taught in every school, written in every official document, sung, always sung, at every gathering that matters. The chain dance is its cathedral. Dancers link hands not in a circle, but in a chain that grows and folds upon itself, while a lead singer narrates the Old Norse sagas, stories of gods, warriors, love, and the sea. There are no instruments. The human voice is enough. In a world that mistakes novelty for progress, the Faroese have understood something rare and precious. Some old things are old because they are true. Hashtag the dragon in the north. There is an island in the north of the Faroese archipelago that looks, from a distance, like a dragon half submerged in the sea. Its spine of mountains runs unbroken from end to end. Its coastline is sheer and merciless. This is Kalsoy. A single road connects its handful of villages, 17 kilometers, passing through 4 tunnels cut into solid basalt by hand. In some places, the road is barely wide enough for one car. You do not rush through Kalsoy. You surrender to it. At the northernmost tip stands the Kolar Lighthouse. Below it, the cliffs fall 500 meters in one unbroken plunge into the Atlantic. On clear days, and clear days are rare and precious, to be received like a gift, the view from Kolar reaches to the very edge of what human eyes can hold. This is the place where a certain kind of cinema found its set, where James Bond once stood for a scene in No Time to Die. A small commemorative stone marks the spot, visited equally by film fans and fishermen who simply needed a place to sit and think. But what the cameras could not capture, what no camera ever captures here, is the feeling. The specific, irreplaceable feeling of standing at the literal edge of the known world and not being afraid. Hashtag an economy built on the sea. The Faroe Islands have no oil, no large manufacturing base, no agricultural plains. What they have is the sea. For centuries, fishing has been the backbone of Faroese life. Today it remains so. The islands are the largest fishing nation per capita on Earth, their seafood exports reaching tables in Europe, Asia, and beyond. Atlantic salmon, farmed in the cold, clean fjords, has become a global commodity with a Faroese signature. Premium, recognized, proudly labeled. But the economy of these islands is not frozen in the past. Tórshavn has a growing technology sector. Remote workers from across Europe have discovered what the pandemic made possible. That a fiber optic connection and a view of the Atlantic is not a compromise. It is an upgrade. The Faroe Islands have, in recent years, built submarine tunnels connecting previously isolated islands, turning remote communities into commuter towns overnight. The engineering is extraordinary. The investment for a nation of 50,000 is audacious. But progress carries its own weight here. The younger generation faces a question their grandparents never had to ask. Is what the world is offering me better than what I already have? The answer, more often than you might expect, is no. Hashtag the edge of the world. At the southernmost edge of the Faroe Islands, the last inhabited land before the open Atlantic swallows the horizon, there is a lighthouse, Akraberg, guiding ships since 1909. To reach it, you must cross the island of Suroy. And on the way, if the weather conspires in your favor, as it occasionally grudgingly does, you will witness something that cannot be described in any language that exists. A cloud waterfall, a river of mist so dense and fast-moving that it genuinely pours over the edge of the cliff, falling hundreds of meters in slow-motion silence before dissolving into the sea air below. The sheep grazing at the cliff top do not even glance up. They have seen this 10,000 times. Further north, on the main island, the village of Kirkjubor holds the oldest inhabited farmhouse on Earth. Built in the 11th century, occupied continuously ever since, 17 generations of the same family. Think about that. While empires rose and fell, while the world reinvented itself over and over, while languages changed and maps were redrawn, one family, one farm, one unbroken thread of belonging remained. Hashtag what you were actually looking for. We live, most of us, in a permanent state of acceleration. More, faster, louder, further. We have confused motion with meaning and noise with purpose. The Faroe Islands do not offer you an escape from your life. They offer you a question. What if this? The slow morning, the fog on the mountain, the neighbor who knows your name, the sea that reminds you of your scale. What if this is what you were actually looking for? The Faroese have a word, hugnalite, for the feeling of deep, quiet contentment. Not happiness exactly, not joy, something stiller, something that holds. These islands have survived 1,000 years of storms, of occupation, of cultural erasure, of the cruel arithmetic of remoteness. They have survived because the people here made a decision, made it over and over in every generation. To stay. Not because they couldn't leave, but because what they had here was worth more than anything out there. There is a lesson in that. A quiet, radical, deeply unfashionable lesson. That belonging somewhere truly, completely, without apology, is not a small life. It is the largest life imaginable. Hashtag the road not yet taken. Beyond the well-known cliffs and villages, there are corners of the Faroe Islands that rarely make it into any story at all. On Mykinds, the westernmost island, puffins gather by the thousands each summer, and the only way in is by a small boat that will not run if the sea disagrees. On Vagar, waterfalls fall directly into the ocean, as if the island itself cannot decide where land ends and water begins. And in winter, when the tourists are gone and the days shrink to a handful of gray hours, the islands belong entirely to the people who live there. A quieter, harder, more honest version of the same beauty. This too is part of the lesson. The Faroe Islands were never built for an audience. They simply are what they are, whether anyone is watching or not. And maybe that is the final, quiet lesson hidden inside all the others. The things worth having rarely need anyone to notice them. If the Faroe Islands have stirred something in you today, perhaps a long-forgotten curiosity, a desire for stillness you hadn't thought to name, then you already understand why stories like this one matter. The world is full of edges worth exploring, places that ask nothing of you except your attention. If this journey meant something to you, pass it on to someone who might need it. Leave a thought in the comments below. We read every single one, and your perspective adds to this conversation in ways you might not expect. And if you'd like to keep exploring, the next destination is already waiting for you, right there on your screen. We'll see you on the other side.